Welcome to the Miami Heat Zone podcast. We're pushing to 6,000 subscribers. We're halfway to that goal. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and thank you for all the support. Jimmy hasn't gotten what he's wanted, so if you bring him back on the court, you're risking the same thing happening. Players haven't talked about Butler directly, but have said the vibes are good. If the Heat could get a solid trade offer, I suspect Jimmy would have already had a new location. Regardless how uncomfortable it is, you don't take a deal on January 16th. If you have to take a deal, you wait until February 6th, and he's absolutely right. The Miami Heat, they're just not going to take any deal just because they want to get off of Jimmy Butler. Let's listen to the rest of the video.
That'll be hashed out in arbitration. The point
fine.
is that Jimmy hasn't gotten what he's wanted. And so if you bring him back on the court, you're risking that same thing happening. And players pretty much down the line during this West Coast trip haven't talked about Jimmy directly, but they've talked about how the vibes are good. We'll see how it finishes up in LA, but it's definitely a tough situation that we haven't seen too often in the league. But I can tell you that Jimmy has no problem being uncomfortable. He will right on that court.
We could have told you that this summer or after we got out of Minnesota. I mean,
the intractable part of the problem here for everybody involved is that Jimmy Butler can't get what he wants, right? Jimmy Butler wants to get traded, and there's not an obvious landing spot for him to get to that he can realistically get to. And so that is why this situation is what it is. If the Heat could get a solid trade offer for Jimmy Butler, I suspect Jimmy Butler would have already changed
I think
locations.
the definition of solid would depend on who you ask, sir.
Okay.
And I will say this. The Heat...
It's not the deals that are available. They are not solid offers.
And frankly, regardless of how uncomfortable it is, you don't take a deal that you don't want on January 16th, 17th. No. You know, if you're going to take a deal you don't want and you have to make a trade, you take that deal February 6th.
So this is going to be very interesting because, like I said before, the Miami Heat, they don't want to take on long-term salary, and the players that they want to return, they still want to remain competitive. I know that Jimmy Butler, he's supposed to meet with Mickey Arison to talk about the destination where he wants to go. Obviously, the Miami Heat, they're going to do what's best for them. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, because it's definitely going to be a 3 or 4 or possibly even a 5-team deal so that all these different teams can agree. But that's the hard part. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you for all the support.